How you loving? How you loving? How you loving? Welcome. We're reading the entire Bible, including the Apocrypha and parts of the Pseudipigrapha. We are currently on the Book of Enoch. Let's dive in. Welcome. How you loving? How you loving? How you loving? I'm Reverend Valerie Love. If we have never met, I am Kaisi, author of 26 books on practical spirituality, the occult, Christian witchcraft, and magic. You can find them at valerielove.com/books. Also, I've been here on YouTube for coming up on 17 years. I grew up on YouTube. And so I am here on YouTube sending you love for a happy Black History Month. This is February as I speak this. It's Friday the 13th, which makes it very lucky. I am here sharing with you the love and vibes, prosperity vibes for all of our peeps of African descent here in the United States for Black History Month. Yeah, haven't said that yet this month, so let me say it now. How you loving? How you loving? How you loving? Come on in the room. We are on Enoch, chapter 77, in the first book of Enoch. Let's go. Screen share. I hex you to cooperate. They called the first quarter Eastern because it is the first. And they call the second the South because there the Most High descends. And there, especially the one who is blessed forever, descends. And the Western quarter is called waning because there all the lights of heaven wane and go down. And the fourth quarter, named the North, is divided into three parts. And the first of them is the dwelling place for men. And the second contains seas of water, and the deeps, and the forests, and rivers, and darkness, and mist. And the third part contains the garden of righteousness. I saw 7 high mountains, which were higher than all other mountains on the earth. And from them snow comes, and days and times and years pass away and go by. I saw 7 rivers on the earth, larger than all the other rivers. One of them comes from the east and pours out its waters into the great sea. And 2 of them come from the north to the sea and pour out their water into the Erythraean Sea in the east. And the remaining 4 flow out on the side of the north to their seas, 2 to the Erythraean Sea and 2 into the Great Sea. And they discharge themselves there and not into the wilderness, as some say. I saw 7 large islands in the sea and on the land, 2 on the land and 5 in the Great Sea. The names of the sun are as follows. The first, Orieris, and the second, Thomases. The moon has 4 names. The first name is Asanya, and the second, Ebla, and the third, Benes, and the fourth, Irayi. These are the 2 great lights. Their disk is like the disk of heaven, and in size, the 2 are equal. In the disk of the sun are 7 parts of light, which are added to it more than to the moon. And in fixed measure, light is transferred to the moon until a 7th part of the sun is exhausted. And they said, go into the gates of the west, go round through the north, and rise through the gates of the east on the face of heaven. And when the moon rises, it appears in the sky and has a half of a seventh part of light. And on the 14th day, it makes all its light full. And 15 parts of light are transferred to it until on the 15th day its light is full according to the sign of the year and amounts to 15 parts. And the moon comes into being by halves of a seventh part. And in its waning on the first day, it decreases to 14 parts of its light. And on the second to 13 parts, and on the third to 12 parts, on the fourth to 11 parts, and on the fifth to 10 parts, and on the sixth to 9 parts, and on the seventh to 8 parts, and on the eighth to 7th parts, and on the ninth to 6 parts, and on the 10th to 5 parts, and on the 11th to 4 parts, and on the 12th to 3, and on the 13th to 2, and on the 14th to half of a seventh part. And all the light that remains from the total disappears on the 15th day. And in certain months, the moon has 29 days, and once 28. And Uriel showed me another law. When light is transferred to the moon, on which side it is transferred from the sun. All the time that the moon is increasing in its light, it transfers as it becomes opposite the sun until in 14 days its light is full in the sky. And when it is all ablaze, its light is full in the sky. And on the first day, it is called the new moon. For on that, daylight rises on it. And its light becomes full exactly on the day that as the sun goes down in the west, it rises from the east for the night. And the moon shines for the whole night until the sun rises opposite it, and the moon is seen opposite the sun. And on the side on which the light of the moon appears, there again it wanes until all its light disappears, and the days of the moon end, and its disk remains empty without light. And for 3 months, at its proper time, it achieves 30 days. And for 3 months, it achieves 29 days, during which it completes its waning. In the first period, in the first gate, 127 days. And then in the time of its rising, for 3 months, it appears in each month with 30 days. And for 3 months, it appears in each month with 29 days. By night, for 20 days each time, it looks like a man. And by day, like heaven, for there is nothing else in it except its light. And now, my son Methuselah, I have shown you everything, and the whole law of the stars of heaven is complete. And he showed me the whole law for these, for every day, and for every time, and for every rule, and for every year, and for the end thereof, according to his command, for every month and every week, and the waning of the moon, which occurs in the 6th gate. For in that 6th gate, its light becomes full. And after that, it is the beginning of the month. And the waning, which occurs in the 1st gate, at its proper time, until 127 days are complete, or by weeks, 25 weeks and 2 days. And how it falls behind the sun, according to the law of the stars, by exactly 5 days in one period of time, when it has completed the pathway you have seen. Such is the appearance and likeness of every light, which Uriel, the great angel, who is their leader, showed to me. And in those days, Uriel answered me and said to me, Behold, I have shown you everything, O Enoch. And I have revealed everything to you so that you may see this sun and this moon and those who lead the stars of heaven and all those who turn them, their tasks and their times and their rising. But in the days of the sinners, the years will become shorter, and their seed will be late on their land and on their fields. And all things on the earth will change and will not appear at their proper time. And the rain will be withheld, and heaven will retain it. And in those times, the fruits of the earth will be late and will not grow at their proper time, and the fruits of the trees will be withheld at their proper time. And the moon will change its customary practice and will not appear at its proper time. But in those days, it will appear in heaven, come on top of a large chariot in the west, and shine with more than normal brightness. And many heads of the stars in command will go astray. And these will change their courses and their activities and will not appear at the times that they have been prescribed for them. And the entire law of the stars will be closed to the sinners. And the thoughts of those who dwell upon the earth will go astray over them, and they will turn from all their ways and will go astray, and will think them gods. And many evils will overtake them, and punishment will come upon them to destroy them all. And he said to me, O Enoch, look at the book of the tablets of heaven and read what is written upon them, and note every individual fact. And I looked at everything that was written, and I noted everything, and I read the book and everything that was written in it, all the deeds of men and all the children of flesh who will be upon the earth for all the generations of eternity. And then I immediately blessed the Lord, the eternal King of glory, and that he has made all the works of the world. And I praised the Lord because of his patience. And I blessed him on account of the sons of Adam. And at that time I said, Blessed is the man who dies righteous and good, concerning whom no book of iniquity has been written, and against whom no guilt has been found. And these three holy ones brought me and set me on the earth in front of the door of my house, and said to me, Tell everything to your son Methuselah, and show all your children that no flesh is righteous before the Lord, for he created them. For 1 year we will leave you with your children until you have regained your strength, so that you may teach your children and write these things down for them and testify to all your children. And then the second year, we will take you from amongst them. Let your heart be strong, for the good will proclaim righteousness to the good. The righteous will rejoice with the righteous, and they will wish each other well. But the sinner will die with the sinner, and the apostate will sink with the apostate. And those who practice righteousness will die because of the deeds of men, and will be gathered in because of the deeds of the impious. And in those days, they finished speaking to me, and I went to my family as I blessed the Lord of ages. And there you have the Book of Enoch. If you came here for the reading, there you have it. Now let's get into the commentary. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I love blue, and I found out a secret the other day about the human race. That blue is the favorite color of most people. That's interesting. Most people love blue. Like if there were one favorite color in the entire world, it's blue. That's interesting. Yes, this is the question. Thank you, screen share. Angel, screen share did it for us today. I had to hex it. Screen share, comply. That's a very interesting comment, isn't it, Carla? The moon looks like a man. Is that how we got the saying, the man in the moon? Very interesting because as we discussed yesterday, the moon is anomalous and we don't know what's on the other side of the moon, and we don't know who's in the moon. As Reverend Evelyn said yesterday, I read her comment too, that they do say it could be hollow. We don't know. We do know that the, the moon rings like a bell, as if something, as if it's metal. The craters are all about the same depth, even though they vary in width, which is strange if the moon is being hit over millions of years, like the Earth, by asteroids, space debris, comets. I mean, all kinds of things are whisking by, whizzing by every second. I mean, we live in a very big, very dangerous universe. That's why people are building all those bunkers. This is a dangerous universe. It's amazing we lasted this long. Yet we have had major resets and major destructions over the years. Happy Friday the 13th. I believe that Friday the 13th, y'all tell me family if you know this. I believe that Friday the 13th came from the day that they killed the Cathars. Is that, let's ask AI. I'm going to pull up my chat GPT and let's ask chat. My chat is named Mercurius. I have to log in. My chat is named Mercurius. And actually, let me just go to Google instead of logging in. Is that correct? Hold on. Let me look. Is Friday the 13th the day the Cathars were killed? No, Friday the 13th. Oh, the Knights Templar. Hold on. It's not the Cathars, it's the Knights Templar. Let's go to the Knights Templar. All right. So we can see what this Friday the 13th is about. Okay. No, Friday the 13th, it's not the Cathars, it's the Knights Templar. While many Cathars were killed during the Albigensian Crusade. Look, I'm just going to keep going at the word until I get it correct. Albigensian Crusade, including a mass burning in May 1239, the popular, specific, and lasting superstition surrounding Friday the 13th stems from King Philip IV of France's coordinated arrest of the Templars on Friday, October 13th, 1307. Key details regarding this association. The Templar arrest. King Philip IV ordered the arrest of the Knights Templar to seize their wealth, which they had vast wealth, which led to widespread torture and execution. The myth's origin, the idea that this specific date is cursed, became a popular, widespread notion in modern times, often linked to the 1307 arrests. Cathar persecution. Cathar massacres, such as the Siege of Montsegur or the burning at Champagne in May 1239, occurred on various dates during the 13th century Albigensian Crusade, not specifically on Friday the 13th. While a Friday in May 1239 did mark a mass execution of Cathars, it is not the event that created the Friday the 13th folklore. Why Friday the 13th spelled doom for the Knights Templar? And the Knights Templar was interesting how they turned on them, because originally the Knights Templar were helping pilgrims traverse through difficult terrain in order to go on their pilgrimages. And they turned on them and took all that money. Ooh, I tell you, money causes you to do some horrible things. And the Knights Templar were very, very popular and very wealthy, very wealthy, which you can see why a king who just wants more gold in his coffers would go after them. You can it's a much bigger story than that, yet it is a fascinating tale of the twists and turns and the horrors of the medieval kings and queens and all of their shenanigans. These medieval queens and kings, what do you say about them? That they're doing some of the most atrocious things unchecked. I'm your queen, I'm your king, off with your head, with no trials or a mock trial, or they, they were out of control. I'm so glad we don't have monarchies anymore, except London still, the UK still has a monarchy, yet I think, as they say, it's a figurehead. So that is the background of Friday the 13th. I want to go to Enoch and now the story that he is going to be taken. So we read earlier that Enoch was going to be given time to go and get his affairs in order, because in 30 days they're going to come and they're going to take him back again. Now we're looking at Enoch on this trip around, and they told him, you need to regain your strength, Enoch. They landed him at his door of his house in the story. And they told him, listen, Enoch, get your things together. We're going to let you stay with your family for a year, and then we're coming back to get you again. Enoch was sort of like a scribe to the Anunnaki. Now, how does this work? Was it actually the Enoch? No. This is an older story, older stories where there were beings who were taken up. We could call it an abduction, who were taken up, and that story continued, and later myths grew on. Okay, the stories were in the Mediterranean world. They were in the Mediterranean consciousness and the Mediterranean zeitgeist. These stories of these gods, these huge gods, and they had sons, and they had the Beni Elohim, the Beni Elohim. They had messengers, the Malachim. They had giants, the Anakim. They had warriors, the cherubim. They had fighter pilots, the seraphim. They had different factions. Wild, isn't it? None of these were angels. Seraphim, cherubim, Malachim, none of these are angels. They all got turned into angels later. None of these are angels. And you can tell they're not angels by what they're doing. The cherubim, what are they doing? They have flaming swords, supposedly stationed at the Garden of Eden, right? In the story. The story is not true. I'm saying, look at what they are saying about the entity in the story. Now, another thing I want to say about Enoch and his travels all over the universe, they were showing him this and showing him that and showing him the gates of the moon and the gates of the sun, and write it all down, Enoch, because you have to give it to all the people so that the people understand this. Is that where, so this legend that there's some Adamu, some human that they took up and said, you need to write these things down and give them to humans. So humans will know what to do and how the moon works, how the sun works. And I wonder if this is the super duper duper origin story of how the Maya eventually would receive their wisdom of astronomy that is almost unparalleled, unmatched. The Maya were far more advanced in these matters in the long time count than the Greeks. even though, Western civilization bows down to the Greeks as if they were gods, the Maya, complex time, complex. The Maya also have art that show, let's see if I can pull it up, that show people sitting in some kind of apparatus with, it looks like a plug or something. And of course, they always have the famous handbag. That handbag is around the whole world. That famous handbag is around the whole world. And a lot of them are wearing watches. Now, this is thousands of years ago. How did you get a watch with a dial on it with 12 points? What are you doing on with a watch? Let's look at it. This is Enoch. So what I'm saying all this to say that these star people, these Anunnaki star people, some of them lovely people, some of them not, just like humans. Some lovely, some not, some in between, just like humans. These beings imparted information, especially about the stars, astronomy. So even as we were reading and I saw 7, whenever I see 7 in the Book of Enoch, I just automatically, my mind goes to the Pleiades, the 7 sisters, just automatically, because these beings were extremely tuned into not only the sun and the moon, these beings were absolutely obsessed with Sirius and Orion and the Pleiades. Is that where they came from? I could not tell you with any certainty where these beings came from. I can only tell you that according to Egyptian mythology, Osiris, Isis, or the Greeks named her Isis, Set, her Egyptian name, her name from Kemet is Set. Set, is she from Sirius? Sirius. Osiris, also known as Osir, and Set, I believe they're from Orion. Let's look to make sure, because all of these beings are Isis and Osiris from Sirius. Boom. Based on ancient, Isis is directly associated with the star Sirius, while Osiris is associated with the constellation Orion. Okay, gotcha. It's both. It's Sirius and Orion. That's not by accident. Okay? Then we know that throughout Greek mythology, the cosmos was very important. Very important. To the Egyptians, the cosmos, obsessed. To the Greeks, the cosmos, obsessed. Ancient Sumer, the stars, obsessed. Mayan, the stars, obsessed. All of these cultures were obsessed with the stars and planets and the cosmology of our universe. Why? That would tell you, it tells me there's obsession that goes cross cultures around the globe, precisely tracking stars and the movement of the moon and the sun and all of this we're doing. We're still doing it. We're still doing it. NASA tracking everything. Independent researchers. They call them amateur astrologers, astronomers with their telescopes and their setups. Hey guys, look at 3i Atlas. Like, we're tracking this thing. We are absolutely fascinated with the stars, cosmology, and its effect on us, because we know it's having an effect on us. And the effects are varied and multiple. And the effects are not only felt on the physical level. Yes, the moon is regulating tides on the planet. Sure, the moon is helping calm Earth down and have these seasons. The moon is causing the earth to be calmer, according to the stories. Yet, why have all of these cultures, including ourselves, been absolutely obsessed with stargazing? I intuit this is our home. We are children of the stars. Now, here's another thing that's very fascinating. They say that stardust and humans are made of the same thing. We're literally made of like stardust, like the stuff of the universe, like the universe's clay, silly putty. You remember we used to get that what was it in those jars that we used to get, and it was all those different colors and you could make it, mash it into everything. It was that, and it smelled kind of good but kind of not good, and then we used to mix all kinds of things in it and stuff got messed up. What was that? It wasn't silly putty, it was something else, and it was in the little plastic containers. We are literally stardust. Let's ask AI about this. Uh-oh, pardon me. Screen share. And I want to ask AI about are humans made of star? Wow. See, people are asking these questions already. Look at all these questions. Look at all these questions. Are humans made of stardust? Yes. Pardon me. I'm getting over a little something, an upgrade to my system. A virus is an upgrade to your system. Nothing to be afraid of. It's very good for you. A virus is good. Do not try to kill viruses. Viruses never did anything to you other than upgrade your system. Yes, humans are literally made of stardust with approximately 93% to 97% of the mass of the human body composed of elements such as carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen forged inside ancient stars. These elements were scattered across the galaxy by supernova explosions, later forming planets, life, and the atoms that make up our bodies. This is the part I want you to ignore. This right here is complete conjecture with no evidence or scientific backing whatsoever. Do you check the AI? Check it at the door. Hold up, AI. Part of this is correct. Part of this is bullshit. Look, yes, humans are literally made of stardust with approximately 93 to 97%. This first sentence is accurate. It is simply the answer to my question. It is the evidence and the facts and the figures. Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Okay? I didn't ask for anything else. Here it comes with some more mainstream bullshit. These elements, now did I ask? Did I ask anything about carbon, nitrogen, or oxygen? It could have totally left this sentence off, which leads me to believe that the AI is trying to solidify us in the mainstream story. It's trying to keep us in the matrix. I don't think so. These elements were scattered across the galaxy by supernova explosions, later forming planets, life, forming life. AI. Scientists will tell you they still don't know the origin of life. It's a lie. It's a lie. They try to tell us that they know where life came from. No one knows the origin of life. Still a mystery. And honest scientists will tell you that. Honest scientists will tell you that. Cosmic connection. Every atom in your body, from the oxygen you breathe to the carbon in your DNA, is a byproduct of recycled stellar material. Interesting. So basically, The correct answer is here is the correct answer. The correct answer is yes, we are made of stardust. Yes, we are children of the stars. Yes, we are cosmically, physically connected to this entire cosmos. We're star stuff. The other part that it originated life, these supernova explosions, that's bullshit. No one knows anything about how life originated. And honest scientists will tell you that the more they study biology and the more they study life, the more confounding it becomes. How did this thing start? That is the question that we still do not have the answer to. There are many guesses, there are many hypotheses, there are many theories. We do not have an evidential, conclusive answer to the question of how did life start in the first place? We don't know. But they told you. And they told you, oh, it climbed out of the ocean. It was a tadpole in the ocean. Well, where did the tadpole come from? Well, it was a one cell amoeba. Well, where did the one cell amoeba come from? Well, it was in like a soup. Well, where did the soup come from? See, they don't have the answer, yet they're not afraid to pretend that they have the answer. I'm going to conclude with this. Darwin wrote on the origin of the species, and he came up with his whole evolution theory. And he came up with his evolution theory because he saw how closely connected humans are to apes. And that's not by accident because, of course, our DNA is connected because that's the mashup that the Anunnaki did. That's easily solvable. And there is no possible way that we evolved from an ape to modern day Homo sapiens sapien like that in a flash of time. It would have required millions upon millions of years to do what Darwin said happened. And that's just not what happened. So we get to start rethinking science, academia. We get to rethink all of it. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Peace.